Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various type of win for the quarterback tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we go to the video, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Also, you can visit golfclashtommy.com for more free content about Golf Clash. Everything on the website is totally for free. Last but not least, if you do want to improve your tournament game a little bit more, you go and get your package, the Ultimate Tournament Package, on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Can we get this video up to 500 thumbs up? That would be amazing and I would be very, very thankful for that. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the elevation adjustment, the club distance adjustment, and also what ball and club type I suggest you to use. Have in mind that you don't need to follow my suggestion if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. We start off with the drive, and here we're going to lay up short. Why? It's because we're going to have a splendid chance for a drop if we lay up short, which I will show you in a bit. 1.5 bar topspin, half a bar of side spin to the left. And the thing that we can learn from a drive like this is that it's not always the best thing to try to drive as far as possible. Sometimes it's better to find a spot further back because it benefits you for the second shot. Maximum distance plus 20 is what we are going with for the drive. We are looking to get the ball up to around 300 to 310 yards. Now, you will see two approach shots, one with the Guardian and one with the Sniper. Why do I do that? It's because I do not want to focus on just a higher level Sniper, because if you're going to play with the Sniper, you do need to have at least 5 bars of backspin, and that is the that is the Sniper level 9 plus that do have that stat. Otherwise we cannot play it with the Sniper. Then I feel it's not going to be sufficient to show just that. So that's why we start with the Guardian first. Guardian level 4, and you can use as low down to Guardian level 1, because the only thing you need is 5 bars of backspin, and that you have already from level 1 with Guardian. You can see that the first bounce is just before the fringe. Ball guideline basically pointing as it would be going far away from the pin and also left. But that is something that we do need to do. I'm playing this one close to medium distance of my club. It's gonna be somewhere between medium and maximum distance of your club, which is something you are going to have to estimate yourself when playing, depending on where you end up with your drive. Perfect ball, you can see that it bounced nicely and it rolls up the hill on the green and fall back down and get ourselves right at pin for a beautiful eagle here. Obviously, playing with the Guardian, you will not have a ball guideline to follow, which is going to be difficult, but that you will have with the Sniper. And that's why if you do have the Sniper level 9 plus, even if you may be a Guardian player in the ground, then you should be playing with the Sniper to just give yourself that ball guideline, because now you can see how we do want to have it. We do want to use 5 bars of backspin, and look at the ball guideline now. You see that we do get that ball guideline, and if you wiggle a little bit left and right, you can see that the ball guideline is still inside the hole, which means that we're inside something called, in Golf Clash language, a funnel. And that funnel is going to give you margin of error, meaning that if you are a little bit off with your adjustment, you will still get that ball to drop. And this hole is famous for that, because we are playing this shot, and you can see how high up the green we are bouncing now with the Sniper, which was different than the Guardian, but it still falls into that funnel and rolls right at pin for a lovely eagle here, once again on hole number 1. So if you do have a higher level Sniper, you do have an advantage over those that do not, because you know exactly where you're going to need to aim. But you're not out of the competition if you do have a Guardian level 1, because then you can still drop it like we did here in the video. I will give you two versions here, one where we are not going to play the rough bump and one where we will be playing rough bump. So we start off by playing with our backbone, playing it with half of the red ring inside the rough there on the right, and we are using a 2.5 bar side spin to the left with no top spin or backspin. Here we will notice that I should be using the full amount of left spin. And the reason that I do play so far out to the right, it's because all the fairway area that is on the left is so inconsistent that it's just insane. So that's why I wanted to play out there to the right, because it gives me a more consistent first bounce, and that's going to help me a lot. Miles off to the right there. Sure, it's going to be a simple birdie, but we do need to use all the side spin to get that one correct. But that is not my favorite option here. I'm showing you that option because we do need to have a backup plan if we do have a wind coming right to left with crosswind going for the rough bump, because then the rough bump is not going to be a way that we shall be playing, in my opinion. Now we're going to change around a little bit here. We shall not be playing with the back bump for the rough bump. We shall not be playing in max. We shall be playing in minimum distance with a 30% over adjustment. So let's take a look at the rough bump. Sniper in whatever level you have it in. I'm using 3 bars of side spin to the right, and I will also be using no topspin or backspin. Ball guideline into the funnel. See the ball guideline there? I aim for the hole, and then I go left and right, and the ball guideline is still stuck inside the hole. That is a funnel, and that funnel, as we talked about on hole, as I've talked about for hole number 1 of the Eagle Peak as well, this one is massive. So in the end, if we do hit perfect here, we will see this ball drop so many times, which is obviously amazing. However though, when we're playing with such a thin bounce there, just very close to the line where we have the fairway, a bad great right will miss the rough. So we need to have that in mind when we play this type of shot, that the reward is going to be massive. We will drop this hole-in-one many times if we adjust properly and hit perfect. Great left is obviously fine, but a bad great right might not clip the rough, and then that could cost you even the birdie, as you will bounce into the bunker that is on the back of the green. Minimum distance plus 30. We need to use a katana because we need all the side spin. And then we do have the sniper in whatever level you have it in. Rough bump, amazing chance making a hole-in-one, but only play it if you have wind coming, either, you know, direct headwind, tailwind, or any type of wind coming left to right. The only time I would stay away from the rough bump is wind coming directly right to left with crosswind. So let's start off with the drive, and here we will and shall be using the quarterback, in my opinion. We're looking to just play a very safe drive. We're getting the ball up to the top of the fairway, or at least close to it, leaving the red ring to the left by the rough line, using 3 bars of topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the left. Adjustment is maximum distance plus 10, and we will using half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left. Ball coming down very nicely on the fairway, and here for the second shot I would like you to play with a sniper, and the sniper could be played even though you have it in a very low level. Make sure though that you leave the ball guideline short if you do not have a fully developed ball guideline, which you will not have in level 6 or below. Try to aim directly at the pin, and obviously when you do not have a sniper ball guideline that is 4.5, which you have in level 7 or better, then you will be having a hard time knowing if you're aiming at the pin or not. So here we're just going to have to try our best with the sniper level 6 and then hit perfect. I'm not using any spin whatsoever, and the adjustment is maximum distance with no elevation. And you can see that the ball, we do get a zoom in, but we are a little bit too much to the left. And that could be all from that we do make a misadjustment. It can also be that we are positioned incorrectly, because we cannot see the full part of the ball guideline. No matter what though, this is going to be a good chance, as it is really no obstacles here. Just take it easy, play with a lower level type of ball, use your sniper, and then we will have a fun time on hole number 3. So we will take a look at first when we do play on the fairway pad. In tailwind and crosswind we will be playing with a long iron. In a headwind we will be playing with a wood club. Like 1.8 bars of topspin, trying to aim with the ball guideline to point directly at the pin. Very difficult though, as we don't have a fully developed ball guideline, and I will end up to be aiming a little bit too much to the right. We should be moving, you know, approximately half a ring more to the left there to be okay. Maximum distance plus 10, I'm playing with a Marlin ball. The reason I play with a Marlin ball is to find complete maximum distance of my club, which will help me finding the correct aiming point. The ball rolls nicely down towards the pin. We do need a little bit more topspin. We do need to move a little bit more left or use a little bit of side spin. But that one is tough with the long iron, as we do not really get ourselves a nice look for the ball guideline towards the pin. But safe birdie nonetheless, with a decent chance for a hole-in-one. But I'm going to show you a rough bump that we could be playing if we do have the if we do want to, because it is a good way for a drop. So let's take a look at that. For the rough bump option, we will be playing with 3.1 bar of topspin and a little bit of side spin to the right. Just a minor little thing. Ball guideline to the hole. You can see that I do have the red ring slightly outside the rough as well. Adjustment, I do play 3.9 rings for 3.9 miles per hour, and then we will try to hit. Perfect. You notice that I do play with a sniper level 10, and the reason I play with sniper level 10 is not because we need to, it's because that was the club that I did have equipped. You can play with whatever sniper you may have, because that will be the same type of play regardless. Very good chance making a hole-in-one with the rough bump, and an additional option here for those of you that might look for a different option to play than bouncing on the fairway pad. We start off with our drive, and here I would like us to play with the big topper if possible. And you don't have to have the big topper level 4, you can play with a big topper level 1. And the reason why is because we do want to have all its topspin to get the ball as far down the fairway possible. Adjustment, maximum distance, no elevation whatsoever, and then we are not going to apply any curl, any overpower whatsoever. The thing that you can do if you do have a higher level type of driver, you can, by using overpower, go directly over that rough that we are bouncing over now, and then go with max overpower, trying to gain some extra yards on this fairway. The problem is though that if you do get too far, or like not as far enough up, then you will be in between clubs when it comes for the next shot, which we are very close to be. Second shot, I use the Guardian. I'm going to try to use the back of the green to have the ball fall down towards the pin. Have in mind here that we are using close to 8 bars of backspin, and then I'm aiming fair amount left of the pin, approximately 3 green squares left of the pin. So adjustment, medium distance, no elevation, and then I'm going to try to hit. Perfect. Ball will then bounce on the green up towards the fringe and then fall back towards the pin. Unfortunately, we are a little bit too much right with our aiming point, but you can see that the speed is perfect. We just need to move a little bit more left so the ball has time to move itself right and directly into the hole. This is, in my opinion, one of the tougher of the holes that we do play, especially when we do play with lower level type of clubs, when we don't really have a ball guideline to play with. So, hole number 5 for you all. We will start with a layup option here, and the reason I'm going to show you this, because this is the way to play it if you do have a headwind, because you cannot get the ball to fall down the hill in a proper way. So we're using a driver that gives us power. Extra mile is my choice, and using as much side spin to the left possible and 4.5 bar top spin. Make sure to not use too much, because that could just make it fall down just barely on the hill there, and then you will get stuck into the rough. Adjustment, maximum distance, no elevation for that drive. Perfect ball together with half a ball of curl to the left, and I would recommend to use half a ball of curl even though you might have more curl on your driver. We lay up very nicely there from 330 yards, and now we're going to play a shot that is going to be very difficult. Why? It's because we're playing it so much downhill that we cannot zoom in enough to be accurate with our adjustment. And you can also see that it is a bit inconsistent when it comes to aiming at the pin here, that the ball guideline is going a little bit left and right. Approximately 1 bar of backspin. We're playing it 30% over adjustment, and we're using somewhat medium distance. It's going to be somewhere between medium and maximum distance of your club. Perfect ball, and the ball bounces on the fairway nicely down towards the pin, but we miss slightly to the right. I'm not expecting this one to drop many times, but I'm expecting myself to be close. If we do have crosswind or tailwind, we shall try to go for green. And that is what, not go for green, but go for the fairway that is just by the green. And that is what I will show you next. So for the more aggressive route, once again, we do need to have tailwind or crosswind here. Use the driver with the most power and topspin possible. For me, that is the extra mile. And I will be adding 4.5 bar topspin and 2 bars of side spin to the right. I would obviously love to have more topspin, but this is the amount that I can play with. Adjust max, no elevation, and then push up to max. Go with max over power, and we will have to gamble a little bit here. You can see here that we bounce on the fairway over the rough there and roll very nicely down to the fairway area around the green, which obviously will be giving us a much easier time getting an eagle on this hole. So if we can, we are going to push it, even though we are gambling by clipping the tree or clipping the rough and might find ourselves in a tough spot. But this is something that we do need to do, especially in a tournament situation, as that could be the reason why you qualify or not, if you get the eagle or not on hole number 6. So here we will be playing with our sniper, and we are actually looking to bounce over the bunker instead of going on the left, which is something that is very common, especially playing in tour play. I will be using, in the end, a little bit of side spin to the left and a little bit of backspin. I will eventually end up to play with half a bar of backspin and half a bar of side spin to the left. And you can see that the ball guideline will be approximately pointing 1 to 2 green squares to the left of the pin, having the red ring flushed by the bunker. Medium distance plus 15 is what we are adjusting here, and the ball that I'm using is called a navigator. Perfect ball, and now we are bouncing on the fairway, we're getting over the bunker, and we do have nice speed until we catch that little glitch on the green, which unfortunately will be there. And in the end though, this is a very nice approach, and you will get close and you will stay away, or like you will not need to use any curl, which otherwise is very common on this tough par 3. But unfortunately the green is very bumpy, and that is something that we sometimes will be very unlucky with, and sometimes we will be lucky with and get that ball to drop in the end. So decent chance for hole number 7, but I would say don't count with it because this is a tough par 3. For hole number 8, you will see 2 options. One where we do play with, say, a medium size of clubs, and we're going to try to just lay up and then attack the pin. And one version will be aggressive. 4.5 bar topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the left. Half of the red ring inside the rough, and as we do not want to get our ball into the bunker that is above the water, we will have to apply approximately half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10, and we're looking to get the ball to get past the two big trees. That is, you can see one of the big trees on the right side of the game screen there. The reason for that is if we do not get past the trees will be in our way, and then we will not have a chance for an eagle whatsoever. Now, difficult part on this hole here is that we do have a lot of glitchy spots on the green. And what does a glitchy spot mean? It means that we do not have a consistency in terms of how the ball rolls or bounces towards the pin. You can see how bumpy it is just on that green picture that we could have there on the game screen. So the thing that we're going to have to do here is to actually try to find a spot where we do believe it's not going to give us that massive speed rollout that's going to happen sometimes. Unfortunately, that is what we get. Adjustment that we spot on, we get right at pin, but when we do come in that hot, we will be having a very difficult time to get the speed correct. And that is not really something that we can control when the green is that bumpy, as you could see there. So what could you do instead? The one thing I would recommend is to go for a dunk. Eliminate the second and the third bounces and the roll on the green to go directly for a dunk. However, that is a bit tricky, I understand that, but that would be the way that I would attack that shot going forward. No elevation for the second shot, and we play it very close to minimum distance. If you do have higher level clubs, or let's say like this, if you do have the big topper unlocked, then you're going to be very interested to see the next approach. So by having a big topper, we do have the possibility to go for green in one in a very simple way. But the simple way could be difficult if we do adjust wrong. So first, I would like you to start with a ball that do make that you do not go in between clubs. And that's going to either be a power 2 ball or it's going to be a power 3 ball. You will have to adapt depending on what level of the big topper you are having. Have in mind that I show you this shot with the big topper level 6. It doesn't mean that you need to have a big topper level 6. It is just enough that you do have the big topper unlocked. Maximum distance plus 10, and we are looking to have the second bounce on the little island inside the water, and then the third bounce to be just by the green and then roll up on the green, like you can see here. We're getting somewhat close for an hole-in-one on a par 4, but in the end though we are getting very close and very it's going to be a very simple eagle. So in my opinion, if you do have the big topper and if you do feel comfortable with your wind adjustment, this is the shot that you should be taking. But at the same time, if you don't really know what you're doing with your wind adjustment and you might not have the club for it, then you risk going into the water, and then this route is not recommended at all. So let's take a look, and we'll be starting by playing with the driver that gives us the most power and topspin possible. In this case, it's my extra mile level 6. I will be changing back to a power 3 ball that is called a Titan, and the reason I will do that is because I do want to have as much power possible with this drive. Obviously, you can play with a ball that has more power, but we are keeping all of the guides from front tee with free to play balls, which you can get in free chest and pin chest, free chest and in the monthly pass chests. Adjustment maximum distance plus 20, then I will have to push up to max and apply approximately 3 rings of overpower. Obviously, the better driver you have, the less overpower you're going to need to use, but some overpower will be needed in the most of the wins. And we do have a lot of room for error. You could see that I wasn't really close hitting perfect. That was a great shot, and I still am no close to be into the rough whatsoever. Second shot, we play with our sniper. Here it doesn't matter what level of our club we are playing with, just that it is the sniper. Red ring by the rough line, we are applying approximately 2.5 to 3 bars of topspin, letting the ball guideline go through the hole when we do have some sort of headwind. If we do have crosswind, ball guideline should go to the hole. If we do have tailwind, leave the ball guideline a little short of hole, just to compensate for the different outcome based on the wind. I am adjusting here a little bit more than medium distance, minus 10%. And looking at the outcome here, we should have adjusted just medium distance. So bouncing into the rough and we roll out, we have a very good speed, but we are a little over adjusted, and that's why medium distance would be good here. This is a tough shot to drop, and when it comes to minus 10%, the thing that means with that, it means that we're playing uphill and the ball will then be less affected by the wind. So we are reducing adjustment based on the normal adjustment we do on other shots. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division 4, the quarterback tournament here in Golf Clash. The game video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure you do hit thumbs up before you go. Thank you so much for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.